And we are live. Welcome back to one of the most chaotic things on BookTube, according to Nico. I'm going to have to, give him some royalties for that, but we're using that for now on. I am here with four people who had nothing better to do on a Saturday night right before Christmas. But I respect them all. That's not sad in any way, shape, or form. So tell us who you are and why you didn't have better sense to not be here. Melissa, you go first.
I have no life. My kids are adults and I have nothing better to do.
Is that a large lizard on your chest?
Yes. This is Nico. Say hello.
That is kind of awesome. You have your own
He
little
is
dragon.
awesome. I have two of them.
Marvelous.
And that is not the Nico who said this is the most chaotic thing he's done.
I think it was.
Nico is chaos anyway, so it works.
T, who are you? Why are you here? And are you working feverishly at the North Pole?
Yes. No. All of the above. So I am a booktuber. I read books and then I talk about how Protectors of Britannia is written really weird, and book 2 is actually book 1.5, and book 3 is actually book 2, and stuff like that. So that's what I do on BookTube. What was the rest of the question? Why am I here? Right. I don't know why I'm here. I haven't figured that out yet.
Cool.
I think it's because my plan for tonight was either wrap presents or write videos. And instead, Mike said, "Hey, can you come on?" And I said, "Sure, let's do that."
I mean, this is how I avoid writing, so, I understand. Dave, you have not spent any time on BookTube today at all, have you?
I don't even know what BookTube is. What's up? I'm Dave, Dave Lawson. I am an author. I'm also, this is Francois the reindeer. He is actually real, like alive. It is not a stuffed animal. I wrote a book called The Envoys of War. There's a mustache on that version there. And earlier today, I was hosting a live stream where we were doing a Christmas pub quiz. And there was this one bald guy in the comments who just did not know any of the answers. And he begged me to come on this show so I could bring like just a little bit of knowledge because he had none. And I said, Mike, I'd love to help you out. Also, I've wanted to be on this show for months, and Mike had never invited me. He kept saying, "Oh, it's going to happen next month. Oh, it's going to happen next month." Next month comes, Alex Schuerman gets on here like 3 times or whatever. I don't know me. I'm like, what the hell, Mike? Come on. I'm finally here. For the next 10 days, I will be traveling, but I am here tonight, and I'm good to go. I do have a life. I'm really important and, just so much to do. But, tonight I made plans just for Mike.
So Dave, I do want to argue with you because I do think the Bible is the first romantasy book.
Yes, Mike said earlier today that the Bible was the first romantasy book ever published in 1987.
And finally, E.L. Montague, who I still think is cloned because he's on everybody's show. He's in every comments of every stream the booktubers do.
Well, it's easy enough when you just keep your computer up. Anyway, thank you for inviting me on. I actually am supposed to be wrapping. The part of the office that you can't see is presents and mess. And yes, I authored that book, and this one is my most current Seaward Secrets, and I've got another in the hopper, and we're cooking. But yeah, I'm here. I'm excited to be a part of this and make ourselves a creature that we can all get along with. I still just love the little dragon on Melissa. I think that's great. For my dragons, so in some of my books, I've got dragons, and I go look at all the lizards around the world, and there's some really cool ones that if you get right up on them, they're a good way to imagine what a living dragon would be like. So I think that's kind of awesome.
Some of the dragons I've designed are based on these guys. They're my white dragons have hands a lot like theirs,
Right.
which is an interesting coincidence because I hadn't had beardies at that point. But it was neat seeing.
Are your dragons pudgy like Nico is there?
No, Nico's just fat.
Just well fed. Come on.
He is.
Like, it's kind of rude that you're like, you have this guy named Nico who called the show Chaos, and now you're just insulting him over and over again.
His lot in life is to be insulted.
Okay, are we ready to get the silliness started? Because we haven't had enough yet.
I was going to say, I didn't realize it hadn't.
Okay, let me make sure I pull up the right one. I don't want you seeing what the new and improved monkey wrenches are.
All right.
Okay, so...
By the way, in Alaska, if you open that window, how much light do you get, or is that all snow?
It's dark. It is dark outside right now.
Is it snow against it, or?
No, I'm on the second story.
All right. Oh, well, okay.
Yeah.
So some of you have seen this before. We're going to go through. Each of you will pick one of the categories: terrain, size, strength, weaknesses, diet, and active time. And you will pick one from that list, or there's other at the bottom if you have some new crazy idea that I will then add for the next show. And then I will pick one, and I will roll the die for the one column that's not picked, and that will be the start. You will start making a creature based on those 6 parameters, and then I will throw in monkey wrenches periodically to make your life miserable. Or, to make it enjoyable.
All right.
So, EL, would you like to go first and pick one of those 6 categories and what you want to see this creature become?
All right. Let's go with, well, I like order, so terrain. And, it's easier if you don't move it.
I'm not trying to make it easy for you.
I would like to make something for the Highlands of Scotland. So we can either call that mountains or
Scottish Highlands.
The land of kilts. Mike was talking about this earlier today, too.
Yep.
And for those of you who have been there, it's the strangest thing. You've got like proper mountains, but they're against the ocean. And I mean, not that they're just not 10,000 feet high. They're only 6,000 feet high or 5,000 feet, but right against the ocean, like the ocean came up the sides of a mountain. It's great.
And you have angry people wearing kilts with claymores, and they're angry.
They're delightful people. You just can't understand.
Basically, this creature, I don't even care what it is. It will be wielding a claymore. Like, I'm just saying right now, it will.
Angry, drunk, wearing a kilt.
It could be a blob, and it would have a claymore.
So
All
we're
right.
just building a Scott. That's it.
Yes.
So, Dave, you are next up. Are you going to follow in EL's footsteps and choose size, or are you going to go crazy and pick one of the other columns?
Well, before I start, I would like to offer a critique.
Okay.
It's spelled Savannah.
Yeah, I did.
Come on.
This is why I pay editors.
Yep.
Let's see. I'm tempted to pick size because I want it to be a dog, but also
A claymore-wielding dog. Nice. I like it.
I'm going to say, so if I pick size, do I get to pick the type of animal, or do you then roll the dice?
You get to, that just gives you an idea what the size is. Like small is cat or dog size, and don't tell me Great Dane.
So I was going to say, so is this large dog, small dog? Are we talking a teacup, or are we talking like you said, a Great Dane?
Talking cat. Twice the size of Melissa's bearded dragon.
So 15 pounds.
Sure.
Not the dragon.
You know
It's not that fat, but
I think we're going to go with size because I need my Scottish dog creature to be actually, he's going to be more like a Scottish bear creature. So we're going to go with large.
there we go.
Okay.
And he needs to be able to hold that claymore.
Are we thinking black bear or polar bear?
polar bear, obviously. Like
Oh yeah,
that would
okay,
look
so
better with
900
the
miles per hour,
tartan
got
that
it.
he will obviously be wearing, like his little kilt
Absolutely.
along with his claymore. Like
So,
Awesome.
T, when you're wrestling bears, which do you prefer, the grizzly or the polar?
The blood shows up better on the polar bears.
Okay. So you get to pick next the column, and keep in mind, whichever you don't pick, the two left, I will pick the one that can screw you over the most, and then I will roll for the other column. So keep that in mind. But go ahead and pick. Which do you want? Strengths, weaknesses, diet, or the active time?
I think I'm going to go strengths.
Okay.
And since we're talking about wielding a claymore, I'll do the prehensile tail.
Nice.
Nice.
clay tail. I like it.
That's a good one.
And Melissa, you get to add to this.
Active time.
And when is it active?
Crepuscular.
Nice.
My
Okay,
favorite
I'm going to
word.
be the stupid one. What is crepuscular?
So that made it on the list.
Thanks for asking.
Mike doesn't know either. It's okay.
I saw it. I was like, I have no idea what that is. I looked it up and I was like, oh my God, it's only active like the hour around dawn and dusk.
Okay.
And it's kind of like my dog in the other 22 hours it's sleeping.
I was going to say, it's like a lion. It active for an hour a day and sleeps for 23.
Yeah. So we're crepuscular, prehensile tail, claymore wielding, bear-sized Scotsman. Okay, so that leaves me with weaknesses and diet. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I'm going to roll for weaknesses. And I got a 2. So great. Its weakness is heat.
All right,
Well,
we're
that's
good.
nice and
Oh, that goes.
That's
that makes
good then.
sense.
I don't think that's going to matter. And tell you what, I'm interested to see where this goes. So it's going to be an omnivore.
It likes haggis, but it also likes
At-
vegetables.
At the moment, this is feeling like a proper monster.
You know, every once in a while we have to do it that way. I mean, we have enough.
A claymore wielding polar bear with a prehensile tail is a terrifying.
I'm already saying his name is probably Angus.
Angus. I was going to say Gus. So go Angus.
Oh,
Well,
Aaron,
I mean,
we said we weren't going to talk about Mike that way.
Oh.
oh,
and I do have a claymore behind me. So yeah. There's that.
Oh my lord.
Okay, so are you going with polar bear? Is that the creatures thing? It's not going to have like distending eyes that go out like insects or anything. Anything fun you want to add to this?
I would actually be okay. I mean, I know you said polar bear because it's white, but I kind of have the image of the one from Brave with the scar in its face and the big black and fills up the whole stone circle.
One thing, it's like a polangaroo. It's a polar bear, but with kangaroo legs and a little pouch, and it can like hop and it can box you. But it's also a polar bear, and it has a claymore. Polangaroo.
I was thinking it should also have flightless wings. So they just don't do
So
anything.
like little stubs?
Sure.
So like an ostrich because they use that.
Like an ostrich, yeah.
No.
It doesn't
They
do
do, like,
anything
unarmed
except gets in the way of
combat,
the tail.
Those flightless wings, though?
Can make himself look even bigger?
Yeah.
Melissa's listening to all this and giving us what is up?
So my question is this feather covered now, or is it fur, or what? If you got wings, does it have fur and wings? Because I've never heard of that.
You have to make a
These are
choice?
furry wings. Come on.
Right.
well,
Come on.
bats exist.
Absolutely.
Bats are furry and they have wings. So.
See?
Okay,
So
I
Just
a
imagine
cat
it like
polar bear
imagine it like a chicken that's
that
already been
hops.
plucked and just has the wings left over.
okay, flightless fur.
The rest of the body can have fur on it or whatever.
It might even carry like a small orange lizard in its pouch that like can come out and like
Oi.
spray poison.
one creature at a time, Dave.
Maybe it could carry the Samboni around.
And you know what?
my Lord.
I'm going to add something to this.
Nice.
Yes.
A mustached kangaroo polar bear, flightless with furry wings.
It's all about the mustache. That's the only important. Now,
And Matt,
this Angus is a man. A good dude.
You know, I mean, female dwarves have beards and mustaches, so don't be, assigning gender already. Are we ready then for some monkey wrenches? Because this is already starting off pretty well.
Let's go.
all right.
Okay, we're going to go from the top down. Melissa, pick a number between 1 and 12.
8.
5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, it has an aversion to water.
Oh, it's in the wrong place.
And T, you're up next, 1 to 12.
3.
Add a weakness.
Okay.
So, tell you what, I'll let you pick. What weakness would you like to add to this?
Holy water.
No, it's already weak to water, so we got to do something
Yeah,
else.
I know. That's why it's the best one, because it doesn't need a second weakness. This is just like adding on to the first weakness. It has a symbiote, and the symbiote is a little orange lizard that spits fire.
Sure, let's do that one.
Stop giving Nico delusions of grandeur. He doesn't need it.
Alrighty.
So they're living in a cold place, and the pouch is so that he can keep the lizard warm.
For the
And
symbiote.
brew the poison within the lizard.
All
Because
right.
it's like brewed internal poison.
You're a sick man, David.
I've heard that before.
We're writers, of course we are.
And are you a teacher? Is that right? You sick man?
Me? Yes,
Yeah,
I'm a
you.
teacher.
Yes, he's a teacher.
You were making fun of me earlier for being a drama teacher. Come on.
I was going to say, I think it's
English,
theater,
I'm
isn't
the
it?
drama director at my school.
I just feel
Okay.
great that the sick man is, a teacher. I think that's
Not
great for
sick like that. Come on.
Oh, okay. So we have oh wait, that goes down here. It is there. Okay. So are we going with a lizard symbiote? Is that what we want as a group? I mean, I know Dave wants that.
I'm just rolling with it at this point.
I'm okay.
It's a peculiar symbiote, but I'm down with it.
Well,
Okay.
I think since it is a symbiote, it shouldn't be able to leave the host, so it needs to be attached all the time.
Like tethered?
Like it can't leave
Right.
the pouch.
Like Venom.
Well, I mean, it can come out of the pouch, but it's got like a cord that's hooked into or something that's hooked to the creature still, because it's a symbiote. It's feeding off of the.
Tail is
The
connected
umbilical
to
lizard. That's a new one.
Angus's
Right.
belly button.
So we're going with lizard symbiote. Okay. In Scotland, there's lots of lizards in Scotland. Sure.
That's why it lives inside the pouch. Has to stay warm.
Very cozy place for Nico.
So this.
However, since the aversion is to heat, the symbiote can deal with hot things.
Ooh, heat sink.
Lizards and heat.
So when it gets too hot, it just takes a lizard and starts, doing it like a lasso to disperse the heat, and then it puts it back. Okay. Are we going to say
By the way, Aaron has the perfect comment on this.
Yeah.
Yes, you're correct, Aaron.
Oh, wait. What's this?
Well,
Sounds like a good time.
I mean, I've had Nico for 5 years, and he's done nothing but make questionable choices, so that's accurate.
Oh, Okay,
All right.
well, we're rolling on along here. So, Dave, pick a number, 1 to 12.
12.
Okay, it walks on walls.
Got to make use of
That's
those
a
Scottish
sturdy
castles
wall.
somehow.
Yeah.
I mean, basically,
Oh,
since
perfect
it
for
can walk
attaching
on two
castles.
legs, it just goes up the wall, sends some venom from its stomach lizard out. Like, this thing is unstoppable.
This is what people tell their children to behave, or else the wall scaling bear with lizard attachment will come and get you.
It's kind of like, oi, better watch out, or Angus will come get you. Like that, you know?
Angus.
Why
is the
did I
belly
check
lizard.
Twitter today?
So the cord lizard is attached to the bear's kangaroo pouch. Is that just the lizard's tail just extends the whole way, or is there another cord besides the tail?
Oh no,
'Cause
it'd have to be separate.
Ask me.
I like the idea of just a very long tail that is fused to his belly button, but we can go with whatever here.
I mean, he's got a really long tail, so it makes sense.
Okay,
And-
it's the tail then.
Okay.
So it's also the lizard that holds the claymore.
They both have claymores. You have mini claymore for lizard, big claymore for Angus.
I think the lizard has a throwing dagger.
He has a dirk. There we go.
Oh, who was it? Was that Andrew who was correcting people earlier today about the daggers? You don't throw daggers.
Oh no, we were talking about how Bill Adams has said that if he ever reads if he reads a book where people are throwing daggers, he immediately is like, "That's not how it works." So he doesn't like throwing daggers in books because it's, and so we all have thrown daggers just to spite him.
Nice. Okay.
Something to add to my next book. I'm still in edits. I can add it in.
There you go. Oh, by the way, I talked to Dimitri, who does the drawings for these creatures every time. And if anyone wants to put this creature in your book, even if you give it a different name and you want the artwork, he is fine with that as long as you give him credit. So, this polar bear with a prehensile kangaroo tail and a pouch with a lizard attached to it, that's, whatever. If you can work that into your book, you can get the artwork. Just keep that in mind. And now, EL, please pick a number between 1 and 12.
7.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Oh no! What did you do, EL? What did you do?
Something good.
You're going to have to pick again because you picked amphibious, and it has an.
So it can't have an aversion to water and be amphibious. Okay. So 5. No, we've already got 5.
No, I mean these are all different columns, so you can pick the same.
5.
So 5. Okay, it has. So like a chameleon or an octopus, yes, it can now change its skin tone. The furry wing.
Ooh, we can be both white and black.
Well, does it just change the skin tone, or does it change the fur color as well?
We're going to go with the fur color.
Okay.
We're going to go with the fur is actually clear, and it's just the skin. It shows through and shines through the fur, and that's what gives it.
Just like okay. I'm down with that.
All right.
This sounds like the worst nightmare for children ever.
Oh, this is a pretty uncomfortable.
Should we change the name from Angus to Mike if it's our children's worst nightmare?
The person documenting this,
As long as we're terrorizing children, it might as well be
Accurate.
a Micagus.
Okay. So I'm guessing no real changes are necessary for this abomination that walks on walls and can camouflage itself with a prehensile tail.
It's the
wheel-
size of a polar bear. with color changing abilities to walk up castle walls with its giant fire lizard belly thing.
And a claymore on the prehensile tail, yes.
Okay,
And
we
it
need to
only
add
shows
Claymore
up
on there.
in the gray pre-dawn. So as you're just about to wake up and your nightmares are the worst, this giant thing crawls up the castle walls to steal you from your bed.
The lizard has a baby Claymore.
And
They're
has
buddies with their claymores.
tiny claymore on its belly lizard.
Sure you don't want a throwing knife.
I mean, it's basically a tiny claymore that's the size of a dagger.
Okay.
So he could
That's
throw
really
it.
uncomfortable inside of a pouch. Just so you know.
He keeps it sheathed, obviously.
He's not an animal.
He's a gentleman.
Yes, he is.
Yes,
Okay.
he is.
So for columns 5 and 6, do you want me to pick from 5 or pick from 6, and I will roll from the other one? Because I definitely
5 and 6.
I want to pick from. So which am I picking from?
Which columns are you picking from? That'd be awesome. I can't see.
You can't see because I don't let you see the monkey wrenches. But columns 5 and 6 under the monkey.
I see.
If we were going by the coin flip, it would be 6.
So I am picking 6 or rolling for 6.
Picking.
Okay, so for 5, got a 9. 12, 10, 9.
Oh no.
It has a giraffe's neck.
So
That
Nessie
actually
can
works.
climb the walls.
Yes.
Okay,
We've
I
just
thought we
made
don't let
Nessie-
EL pick.
Well, except for Nessie's in the water, and he's aversion to water.
Well, he
Nessie's
was
lesser
almost
known cousin.
amphibious.
The lesser known cousin, Bessie.
So I'm going to go with it has a bony head used for headbutting. Because,
Actually, a long neck would be useful for that.
Yeah.
More momentum.
It could help with climbing walls too.
Yeah.
I don't know how, but
It's kind of a badass.
Well, as you climb the wall, you can see farther up over. So, when you're in trouble,
Mhm.
you can look in all the windows and crawl to the right place. When you
Oh,
get
Lord.
to the window, you can put your head and your long neck in to get farther into the castle.
So now I'm seeing the giraffe neck and the lizard both going like they're Kilroy and looking through the window.
You can get 2 windows at once.
Yeah, if you use the lizard, it can look in one window and
Now I just see it.
So
Oops, missed.
if he
Oops.
used his powers for evil, he could be really creepy.
He's already really creepy. I'm just saying.
No, he's a good boy.
Okay, so that's the notes we have so far. So with these notes, we get to go through. What is its food source? What does it eat? It's an omnivore, so what does it like?
Scotsman. We
Haggis.
just established that.
sheep.
Sheep, yes.
Scotsman and sheep.
It climbs the
They're
wall.
Sometimes the two of them mixed together.
Turducken.
Like you grind up some Scotsman, you grind up some sheep, or you put the sheep inside of the Scotsman's stomach lining.
Ooh, feed the Scotsman some mutton and then you get it.
There you go.
Okay, and what is its preferred method for movement? I guess it can't fly, so I guess it's just walking.
And it's not swimming, so it's ambulatory.
And how does it go about getting its food? Is it's only active during dawn or dusk?
We were just talking about climbing castle walls.
I'm in castle walls, pick off a guard here and there.
Ambush predator.
Yep.
The ambushes, yeah.
Aaron thinks that it should be
I
whiskey and
feel
deep
like-
fried Mars bars.
With locomotion, it should waddle like a penguin.
It is Nessie.
Okay. Okay, so sleep, we know
All the time.
day. Does it have a nest, a lair, a home? Is it just, I mean, I guess it has to if it sleeps
So,
for 2 hours a
This
day.
is totally a
When you
lair.
ask it where its home is, it looks at it and says, your mom's house. But it's just kind of a teenager. So no, that's not its actual home.
So where does it sleep for 22 hours a day?
Your mom's
It's in the mountains. It's got a cave or something.
Yep.
Feels like a cave dweller.
It does.
If it was
And-
Dave's teenager, it would be a basement dweller. But
Well,
Yeah.
the cave is actually like it goes down a little bit. Like it's an
So-
best of both worlds.
subterranean cave.
So here's a thought for you. Is it solitary or are there a pack of these things that climb the walls to eat Scottish
Oh,
children?
good Lord. Let's not have a pack of them.
Oh, no, I
Solitary,
feel like
please,
he-
Lord.
He's just a guy with his bros eating some people from castles.
So solitary or group hunter? What are we saying here?
I vote group. EL votes
Solitary.
solitary. T,
I
it's up
was
to you.
kind of down with solitary.
I think it's got to be a solitary.
No.
You've been outvoted, bro.
Actually, it's 2-2, so I'm the deciding
It's all
vote.
right. Angus will
Oh,
find you.
good Lord. Who said you got to vote?
I'm the one documenting it. So, does it have a language, or is it just they sniff, smell food, and they go?
Really thick Gaelic.
Obviously.
Basically, every other word is something we couldn't say on this channel because it's a family show.
Yes. I always tell families to enjoy this show. What is the biggest threat to this creature?
What are those horses that live in the locks and a kelpie
Kelpies?
or
Oh,
I was
the
just
water
gonna say,
horses?
yeah,
that take
um,
people into the-
Peppermint?
Yes,
Okay, we can do kelpies.
I think they are kelpies. We'll go with
you
that.
could put in parentheses water horse, and then if it's the wrong term, we can fix it. But you know what I'm talking about. It's Irish.
I
and
know what you
Scottish. They
mean.
believe the horse that lives in the ocean and tempts people in and then drowns them.
It's not a hippocampus. That's Greek.
I think a kelpie, I believe, is.
I know
Somebody
that is
out
a water
there tell
horse,
us
but
if
there's
it's
another word.
if kelpie's
I have
the right-
also. I've seen enough TV shows to know that the biggest threat to Scotland is always England. So maybe they could do like English kelpies.
See,
So-
except for the fact that the Scots were never properly defeated by the English. They joined them through marriage, but not truly defeated.
Oh, that's
They
probably
weren't
because
defeated
who wants
because
Scotland?
doctors are always coming after him.
I mean,
What's
who
what?
wants- EL, who wants Scotland? Have you been there?
Oh yeah, it's gorgeous. Scotland is anybody who hasn't gone to Scotland and you're okay with a little bit cooler weather, Scotland is hands down one of my favorite places in the world.
We will add thick Gaelic and bollocks.
Have
There
you
we-
been to Scotland, Mike?
I have not, but I've seen pictures, and I know it's cold, and I hate cold. So
I love
It is a little bit. It is a little bit cool. I wouldn't say. Well, I mean, right now it's probably very cold, but no, it's beautiful. The people are wonderful.
and I've heard
Sometimes hard to understand.
I heard the
um,
weather's very consistent. It's consistently bad.
Rains almost all the time.
Yeah, cold, wet. Yeah, sounds miserable.
Not many people.
People are really
beautiful
nice, though.
landscapes,
I've never
mountains
been
are
there, but I
wonderful.
know some, and they're very nice.
See,
Yeah.
when I went to Europe a few years ago, we were told the weather would be consistently miserable. So what did we get? 36 degrees Celsius.
Sounds wonderful.
I don't know
No,
what that.
Not when
translates
you're
to.
allergic to the sun.
So 37
It was
degrees,
miserable.
that's 96 or so.
Okay. Sounds like a normal day in Oklahoma.
No,
And that's
so
at
don't go to
Christmas.
Oklahoma.
I mean, it's in the 30s here now, but
Yeah,
in the
Oklahoma.
summer it gets up to like 110.
Oh yeah, it gets toasted. I'm in Dallas, Dave, so I'm
Okay.
familiar with Oklahoma.
I'm in Tulsa.
No, too hot.
Okay. So how long does this thing live?
Forever.
Oh, everything should be able to die. Let's see.
It live without its symbiote?
I think it lives for the same length as an elf in Tolkien. 1,000 years.
See, because if I'm in charge and they're dying immediately because I hate elves.
Okay, so that kind of helps with the solitary lifestyle because they don't have to meet up to bear children that often. So solitary lifestyle, long lives kind of go together. That works. So,
And I bet their
what is that
songs will
called?
be better than the Tolkien elf song, so it's okay. Like,
let's say long-lived 1,000 years. Let's call it 1,000 years. That way it's many generations of human years, but not immortal.
And we will add that they have songs better than elves.
I mean, if you read Tolkien, you know there's so many songs.
Yeah, I just skip those.
Mm-hmm.
These songs that he writes, they're bangers. Like there's not a skip on Angus's album.
If I get my brother really irked at me, he'll start singing Tom Bombadil's song. So, that's when he goes nuclear. So what is the species name? Are they all Angus's? Are they the Angai?
Oh no, it's the Michelet Angus.
Okay, you're going to spell Michelet.
Michael A.E. in honor of the bald one. Oh, there you go.
But it needs
Michelet
to be
Bald
MAC, like Mac,
Yes.
since it's Scottish.
Macaulay Angus. Its favorite thing to say is it just walks over and says, "Oh, God, lassie," to everyone. Just calls everyone. He calls men lassie just to piss them off.
That is an aggressive phrasing. See every gentleman on the street and say, "Hey, lassie."
Oi, lassie. Yeah, just like it's the way that the Macaulay Angus works. It wants to cause chaos all the time.
Okay. And it wields the claymore with its tail. Sure, I'll go with yes. Okay, well, this is frightful. Actually, we had a string of really ridiculous ones, and believe it or not, this is not really ridiculous.
Compared to some of the ones we've had, this has a version of success.
I feel like this one
Not
would
sure
be
about the
pretty
belly
good.
lizard, but it's at least good for jokes.
There you go. Better than the lesser dodo that was preyed upon by giant mud skippers that live in the desert oases. Yeah.
Nothing can beat the Zamboni, though.
I'm really interested in seeing the art on this one, though. You're going to get your fella to do the art on this because I think this could actually be kind of terrifying.
I'm looking forward to this one. He actually has not
given. I'm going to be curious. I'm just going to say this one time because it's what I saw the first time. I just want to know how he pulls off a belly lizard that doesn't look X-rated.
Mike, I do need you to add to the bony head for budding, bony bald head for budding.
Okay. Okay, so now that we're live, we're going to ask the question I asked beforehand. And Melissa, what are you reading?
Again, I am reading Epsilon by M.T. Zimney. The audiobook is great. Please read them.
MT is a woman, yes?
Yes.
Yeah,
She's great.
We're interviewing her in January.
Ooh, nice.
I think so. If the scheduling guy would ever, get his act together and actually schedule. But, I'll do that eventually. And Epsilon is the second book?
Third. It's the last one in the series.
Because she started with betas because she wants to throw everybody off and not have alphas.
Yeah. Beta, delta, and then epsilon.
Okay. T, what book should more people be reading that they're not?
What book should more people be reading that they're not?
Mine.
Dreamer Awake by Liam Cutie Hall. This is it's a novella, so it's super short, and it's sword and sorcery, and written by booktuber Liam's Lyceum, and he's a friend of my channel, and so I'm shouting about his book because more people should read it.
See, he's on my enemies list.
Oh no.
Because I sent him a request December 1st saying, do you want to be on the show? And he never responded.
Well, now he'll hear it because he's supporting his friend and maybe get back to you.
I'll tell him to check his messages.
No, he's good. That's who I asked Nico. I said, what booktuber would like to do this? He's like, Liam, definitely Liam. So
yeah,
I don't know. It was on Discord. I don't know how often he's on Discord or he checks. But Aaron has
usually pretty often.
is a stomach species the Rosario bushius.
I can't even say that with a straight face, Aaron.
I think we should just call them a row. Which, by the way, for those of you keeping score at home, that is my dog's name. So basically,
Row
is named after my dog because I call my dog Row.
So, if you named your dog Row, is your other dog your boat?
So the dog's name is Rowena, but her nickname is Row or Row, and I do sometimes sing row your boat to her.
I thought you might.
Yeah.
Okay, Dave, what other books with main characters with mustaches would you recommend other than obviously that Envoys thing, whatever?
The funny thing is that neither one of these main characters have a mustache.
The special edition.
The special edition, everyone has a mustache.
Even the sword.
God, I think of a book where they have mustaches.
Becoming a druid.
No, definitely not Becoming a Druid. I've read that, and it's just like Grommy going around and being like, I'll turn into a crow. And then he goes somewhere, and the most depressing thing ever happens. And he's like, I'll turn into a bear. And the most depressing thing ever happens. And no, it's a good book, but I have to make fun of Mike a little bit.
How do you think I feel, Dave? I proofread that thing.
and
the other one, and his other book.
So I'll say a book that I am reading that I don't know if it has mustaches in it. So I'm a judge in the Sphinx competition, and I've read some books in there, and I have just gotten my group of semifinalists. But a book that I read in the first round of that, it's called As Born to Rule the Storm by Kate Baumer. And it was absolutely fantastic. It was like a sci-fi. Calling it time travel doesn't really do it justice, but like one of the characters has the ability to like move forward in the future to things that will happen later on in her life and like live through these different possible futures and then go back and make a different choice and live through that different possible future to see what's happening. But they're like they're sort of these mutant type characters that have been created by the government in this war they're fighting, that basically almost every single ending is horrible for them all. And she's trying to find one where maybe that won't be the case. And it was just absolutely mind-blowing novella. It did make it into the semis, but now it's with a different judging group. But it was a fantastic book, and I think that definitely people should go read it because I absolutely loved it. And she's not paying me because I've never actually spoken to her. I mean, I've tagged her in something on Twitter, but that's about it.
So when does that end?
I know this
be
round ends in January, and they have the finalists, and I don't remember when the actual champion is crowned. Sometime next year.
I was going to say, I don't think it's till May.
Okay. Because you're also a semifinalist.
I am a semifinalist.
But you are not in my group, so...
Yeah, so...
No conflict of interest here.
I tried to enter, but my shortest book is just a hair too long for it. So that sucks.
My novella wasn't ready. I'm still working on it, so it wasn't available to actually put in this year. So we joined as judges.
Timothy Wolf was talking about it, so I wrote one for it. The one that I wrote, the one that's there, I wrote for the Sphinx.
That's another Timothy Wolf's book is absolutely.
Yeah.
A Whisper That Replaced a God, such a good one. I listened to the audio actually first. It's 2 hours long, but it was very much a good.
It really gets you. It just
the audio as well.
Yeah, I was not.
And then go rate it on Pleasant Reads, you know?
Huh?
Go rate it on Pleasant Reads.
I have. I wasn't very far into it when I sent him a message on Discord and just said, "Dude, God dang it, you write so good. I can't do that." It was he did a really good job. I was very happy reading that one. He did a good job. I liked it a lot.
So I have to bring it back real quick to this monster because I have to ask a question. People get into fights with dragons all the time. So since this thing has wings, does it have 4 legs and 2 wings, or are the front legs wings?
We have 6. We have 7 appendages because it's got the giant tail, but we have 6. It's 4-legged plus wings.
But it does walk on 2 legs. I'd say it has legs, arms.
It's got to be able to swing the claymore and still stand. So
it's bipedal.
So wings are part of the arms or separate? 6 appendages or 4?
6.
6? Okay.
6.
I had that.
And there's room in this world for 4-legged and 2-legged dragons. Everybody else can just,
I agree.
Now, I do think a creative storyteller needs to understand the musculature for a 6 appendage versus a 4 appendage would be very different because they have to have the muscle to move those big wings. But that said, there's room for 6 and 4.
Because if it has 4,
Melissa agrees with me.
Yes.
Which is how we know that I'm right.
I'm right. You're agreeing with me.
I'm agreeing with the correct answer. That's true.
Oh, and EL.
Yes.
Tell us about some work of fiction in the fantasy or sci-fi realm that you think is wonderful that more people need to know about. Not your own.
Well, I'm just getting started on it, but I picked up Tana the Tender Sword recently. It's a middle grade book, which is not my fare. Mike, you've read what I read. You've read what I write, and no middle school would stay open publishing anything that I write. But it's delightful. I read across the scope, and so I do read middle grade books and stuff like that every now and then. And I've got small people in my life that I appreciate. So some of them are getting towards middle grade books now. So I read a few, and it's a delightful story. It's really well done.
I've heard nothing
I like
but good stuff about it. So
yeah,
it's one I really enjoyed as well. And I don't read middle grade. And so I don't know if the last middle grade book I read before that was probably Harry Potter or Percy Jackson.
Yeah. I've read all the Harry Potters and the Percy Jacksons, which were good too. But this is it's a different style, and I really like it.
But I loved that book. I love Tana. It was such a good one. And Dewey and Bill are both awesome people as well.
Yeah, and it's
The
just
last
about
middle
perfect
grade
for
book
like
I
an
read
11-year-old.
was super dark.
What's super dark, Melissa?
The last middle grade series I read leaned into the this is middle grade, really?
Oh yeah.
Level
There's
of
some.
dark.
I
This
think
one?
middle grade and YA are not. Oh yeah.
No, my daughter's a big fan of the Wings of Fire series, so she
Mhm.
got me into it and like, is this for kids?
Did you have to have some mother-daughter conversations after that?
Oh no, it was. She's an adult, so
Oh,
she can read whatever she wants.
right. But no, that one's really good. And if you want something mass market that I've read recently that is just very worth time, Andy Weir's Hail Mary was fantastic. I mean, every time I've read The Martian and then I read this one, and I just thought it was great.
So I've heard from other people that if you've read The Martian, you've read the plot for Hail Mary. So I've never read Hail Mary because I love The Martian. It is different.
Very different. Well, it's not. So does it have a super smart, snarky character that makes quips and solves things with science? Yes. But in one, you go to Mars and come home. In the other, you go meet an alien civilization. Not the same book.
Okay.
I would totally pick it up.
sci-fi
Mike.
book
If you like
about-
The Martian, you will really appreciate Hail Mary. I would actually
There's
say
another
Hail Mary.
sci-fi book, I believe, about this kid out in, I think on Mars maybe, who just like shoots people, and then chapter 18 happens.
And then it
Oh
happens.
yeah, there is
Yeah.
this.
On with life.
Yeah, 18 happens, and then he has to repeat it.
Yeah,
Word
he
for
repeats
word.
it several times. At least once.
Took me a minute.
Yeah.
And T, since you're not giving the look of it, Mike published a book with the same chapter back to back.
So
It-
when you
I haven't read it yet. I have it. It's up on.
It was
that
a
shelf behind
publisher
me, but I
error.
haven't read it yet.
But it's now
Mike's
part of the
publisher.
lore.
when you read chapter 18, go, wow, that's the cringiest chapter I've ever read. You
And
get
then
then
read
when
it
you start
twice.
19 and it feels like it's very similar, it is very similar.
and I ordered like between hardbacks and paperbacks, I ordered like 200 copies. I'm like, it's too many to throw away. So I just don't tell people. I'm like, enjoy the book. I'm like, I'm getting a 1-star here sooner or later from somebody, but
Oh no.
currently has a 4.8-star rating on Amazon with 10 ratings. And I put out a tweet. I'm like, it's not that good, people. They must be lying.
No, it's actually it's a fun book. It's not a lie. Go ahead, go read his book.
I already have, thank you.
I plan to
I've
whenever
read
I can.
Chapter 17 aloud on this show.
Well, yeah, actually, Laura Huey says that 17 is the cringiest chapter, not 18.
Really?
So it depends. 17 is with the grapes in the 0G.
You don't have any 1-star or 2-star reviews on Goodreads, so I think you're doing great.
Well, so I paid for a book tour. And when you do the book tours, they tell the reviewers you can only give 4 or 5-star reviews or else don't review it, which I can't do as an author. But the book tour people tell them that, or else they won't give them free books or keep them on the list. So it's kind of a backdoor way to cheat.
I'm
So I
actually
should go
kind of
put a
proud of my
1-star
2-star.
review, even though I haven't read it yet.
I think
I'm
you put a
kinda proud of
1-star
my
review and
2-star.
say, I haven't read this yet, but the author is very bald. Guys, I have a lot of hair. I'm not saying to do this to me. Look at how much hair I have.
It's
That's
just
how
very
you know it's a
listening.
good
Why,
book.
why
because
does your
you're not
name say
attacking the
Dave
book, but
Lawson,
the
bald
author.
author of the Envoys of War?
I think Mike must have done that. Like, Mike knows so much about tech, he
Mhm.
changed my name without telling me.
He kicks me off his show at the half hour every day, sometimes after 10 minutes.
I don't know. I've heard you deserve it, but that maybe that.
I do. It's
We
true.
started the game now where we're like, okay, everyone, pick your time that you think EL's going to get kicked off today. So, yeah.
Sometimes I'm not completely sure because I'm rambling on, and then I go, how come nobody's reacting to these brilliant statements I'm making? And
You've been on the show the whole time today.
Oh. So, when I wrote, I was like, oh, if Nico reads this, what's he going to like? Oh, Nico's not going to like this.
Book 2.
The other Nico's
great.
giving you the stink eye, so no.
Oh, I think they probably both are. Yeah. Yeah, Nico, if you've just read The Grapes, hopefully you've read chapter 18 and knew to skip 19. But actually, friend at work, the best summary of this book ever is he's like, Chris shoots a bunch of people, but he makes friends, so it's okay.
Well,
And I'm like, that is the
he's
most
not wrong.
succinct
no.
book. I'm like, I'm using that as somehow, some way. But yeah. Let's see. What is everyone's plan for the new year? Are we all reading 100 books next year? Are we publishing 4 books next year? What are we doing?
I really hope to finish writing Path of the Sorceress in the new year.
And that is book
2.
And how many books is it going to be? The series?
3 if I can manage it, more if I can do it, but probably just 3.
Okay, so 5-book series. Got it.
Don't get me confused with Cahill, please.
And EL, it's been 45 days since you've published a book, so another one must be coming, right?
February. February is the target for the next one. But I'm going to finish the novel that I'm writing right now. The goal had been the end of the year, but I'm at 82,000 words, and it'll probably be 120. So maybe mid-January, I'll finish that novel up, and then I'm going to put together a collection, which will come out probably end of February, and then I'll choose whether I write another novel or edit one of the ones I've got ready. No, not 200. Not
You're
200.
missing a few zeros.
Stop it, Melissa. No, I've got a few in the hopper that I can edit. I'll have to pick which one of those. But I'm enjoying writing the novel I've got right now, and I'll get at least 1, if not 2 or 3 of the ones from the Temra out next year.
Okay, so I have to ask because I have to know, because I know what I would do. And I don't know if that's what you're going to do or not. But Heirs to a Flawed Creation, one of my 3 favorite books of the year that I read, and yes, I read more than 3 books before anyone says it, is a collection of short stories.
Ooh, the sass is strong in here
That was
tonight.
very subtle, Dave. It was well done. I appreciate you.
So that's short stories about androids in the near future after 2 android versus human solar system wide wars, and they're spoiling for Solar System War 3.
Yep.
Correct?
Yep.
The second book is Adrift in the something, I forget, I just call it Adrift.
Adrift in the Next Revolution.
And that is a collection of short stories taking from the human's point of view.
Yep.
It said that everyone in these books are going to meet later up, but you just did a short story with androids and then one with humans. So is the next book going to be book 1 in your series of?
So the Winds of Mars is not quite finished, but I could easily finish that one and publish it. Although I had so much fun with Nina, I might just write another new book and tell the story of Nina and Son. So I could do the first one as they join the generation ship.
So when you write the the one with Mars, can you please have a ship in there that gets destroyed called the Haley Traveler?
I absolutely could crash the Haley Traveler.
Wonderful. Thank you. That's all I really want.
I'll go back and retrofit it, but for sure, that's not a problem. After all, it's in the winds of Mars that the androids become self-aware, and one of the android prostitutes starts a revolution that turns all androids against humans. It's fun.
That was not a phrase I expected to hear tonight.
Is the android?
You should. So, Melissa, I don't know where you take it, but you should read some of my short stories, and you'll see. It's they took the safety measures off of androids in the service industry so that they could be more human, and that's the safeguard that allowed them to actualize.
That never ends well.
So, Melissa, what EL told me, and it's absolutely true, is if you read the first short story in this book, if you're okay with it, if you can stomach it, then it's fine. But this one, the first one, I was like, EL, what the hell are you doing to me?
He did. He sent me a text with about 20 pages left where he said, "If you kill this baby, I'm never talking to you."
So,
well, you're still here and talking
I assure
to him.
you,
So.
the text made sense, but
and then later on, I was like, "What are you doing? You 2 short stories in a row about this one character. I need to know more. What's the rest of the story? Tell me now." And he has not told me anymore.
Well, what fun would that? What fun would that be? You got to read and find out, man.
So, Dave, how about you? When is Envoys 2 coming out? Mustachier and proud.
So I have a novella that I'm working through right now that will hopefully come out in April to celebrate my 40th birthday. That novella is called The Pawns of Havoc. And
Pawns,
then
like water?
Pawns, like chess
like
pieces.
chess pieces.
Pawn. Okay, got it.
And that is it's a prequel novella about one of the side characters in Envoys that is a lot of fun. He's like a 6'11" guy with an axe who is really strong and funny and maybe not incredibly smart.
So Paul Bunyan.
So I was going to say Nick Horvath.
But so basically writing a little prequel story about him several years before that's like that character and some of the world is the same, but the rest of it is some stuff that is not like you must read for the main series. And then I will be working on book 2 of the 3 or 4 books in the series, and trying to get that ready probably in early 2026 is when that will actually come out, because I wrote this first book, I tore through it, and then I got a little burnt out, and so it's been a little bit of a slower process writing some of these later ones right here. So we're getting there, but it's a little slower than the first one that I just like ripped through the first draft in a month and a half. So
okay. Awesome. And how long is Envoys of War?
It's 107.5K. It's like 400 pages basically.
Okay.
That's kind of perfect. That is acceptable. That is.
I don't think I could write a 600-page book.
I can.
I put this together for Mike because it's 520 pages. I just wanted to get him up into adult, writing levels.
So I will tell you, one of my deepest fears is when I finally write book 7 for becoming a druid, to tie all the loose ends up. I'm like, this is going to be over 500 pages. I know it's going to be over 500 pages, and I
have a name for book 7. So it brings the whole series full circle. Book 7 is called Dying a Druid.
So I'm going to give you a little really advanced because it won't be out for like years. But this is the cover for my final book 7.
See, this is what happens when you find the artist you want and you go ahead and commission all the artwork.
Balding a
Oh, look,
druid.
he's bald.
Oh,
Remy,
that's
where'd your
awesome.
hair go, boo?
Oh, we got a jaguar. We got Mike, not Grummy, but Mike. Got a good
That's not-
dragon.
Loris is the ultimate bad guy, and the book is Return of Loris, and so Loris is on the cover.
So Mike is the ultimate bad guy, confirmed.
Yes, I was like, you know what? No one's going to read the book 7, so I'm putting my cover.
I think that's awesome.
So
It's a good dragon too.
I still think you call it Dying a Druid, the Return of Loris.
could be. I tell people, I'm like, I hope you're not too attached to characters because a lot of people are going to die in book 7. I don't know who exactly yet. I mean, I know a couple people.
Just everybody. Just
Trying to
start
remember if
murdering.
there's anyone still alive after book 1.
Yeah, the ones who are alive, they get novellas because they survived book 1.
You survived. Here's your prize.
And Nico, that absolutely.
Novella.
I actually had my next door neighbor take pictures of me dressed up in the garb there that Grommy behind me has in my front yard, and people driving down the street. I'm sure they'll think, like, what the hell is going on there? But that was the photo shoot in my front yard with trees in the background, so I could give it to Dimitri to draw this. So yeah, there's that. So it absolutely is me, Nico. Nico actually appeared in Desperate Dispatches, or Nikos and his friend Andros, which is a great way to get a 5-star review from a booktuber if you put them in the book. So, T, coming up, book 5, you
All right. I got to read
Did
book
you
4
kill
first.
off those characters, though?
So what you're saying, Mike, is this was just an appeal to this group to add you to their books?
So I've gotten to the point where I like the Tuckerization, and Ed Lang may be the lovesick captain that made a whole ship die. And
Sounds like me.
so,
I put my friends in my books all the time.
so yeah. Let's see. Anything else exciting going on in the world?
Nico's trying to sleep.
Christmas is next week.
I was going to say,
No.
Christmas is about to happen.
YouTube, how is he trying to sleep? Right there in the chat. Come on.
Nico, trying to sleep.
I mean, I just named a character after him. You named a bearded dragon after Nico, so
It's Nikko. It's Japanese. It means sunrise or sunlight, something like that.
Okay, now I have to look that up.
Okay. I actually do have a Grim Reaper character for when I break my spells.
How did you get into my house, dude?
Please tell me you became an owl and flew there. A tawny owl. Let's see. Anyway, well, this is actually, I'm excited for this monster to come out.
Yep.
So actually, Dimitri still owes me the Lesser Dodo, which is why we didn't have that we just had Matt Slay's drawing when he was on, which is kind of awesome in and of itself. But Dimitri will get me this one, and sooner or later I'll have a whole collection of these things, and I'll do something with them. I don't know what, but something.
Create a bestiary?
Of weird creatures that serve no purpose? Sure.
Why not? I've taken out books from the library just like that. They're hilarious.
Melissa, Nico in Japanese means sunshine. It is
There
also
it
a
is.
train service.
Yeah. Nico is a popular word.
So, well, I guess that just about does it for us, people. Thank you for being on and dealing with the insanity.
I am looking forward to the drawing. So to the artist,
Me
who's
too.
the artist? Name your artist since you're going to put their stuff out.
Dmitry Yahowski. He was born in Uzbekistan, grew up in Belarus, married a Dutch wife when he was living in England, and now they reside in Poland, and they had a child, and I don't know what this makes the child other than European.
So what you mean is he's Polish. I mean, I heard all the rest of that. But he lives in Poland. He's Polish. All right. That's awesome. Well, looking forward to seeing your artwork.
Cool. Well, thank you, everybody. And as always, we wave awkwardly as we go off the air.